Well, that was quick. In a few short years, and I don't know, maybe even just a few short months, the statistically proven superiority of free market economics and free market societies have come under attack, seemingly from all sides. Of course, we've always been under attack from the left. The zero-sum oppressor versus oppressed narrative on that side makes it possible for them to ignore all the statistical analysis in the world in favor of a doomed policy which has failed every time it's been tried. The weird thing, for me at least, is that we are now under attack from a shockingly large contingent on the right. A contingent that believes, in essence, that the evils of big government can be defeated by even bigger government, or more to the point, a different brand of big government, which will ensure prosperity for all. And I understand the allure, I do. The unholy alliance between business and government, sometimes called crony capitalism, that we pretty much have everywhere in the Western world, is infuriating to these people, just as it is infuriating to free market lovers, especially because this brand of capitalism is so often mistaken for actual free market economics. Crony capitalism protects strong interests at the expense of weak interests, to the detriment of society as a whole, especially if you compare it to a system in which businesses would be punished for their mistakes and rewarded for their successes. Yeah, I know, novel concept. In other words, an actual free market. Factions on the right can be forgiven, I think, for believing that absolutely any change would be an improvement. Many of these people do not have the experience or historical knowledge to realize that as bad as you think things are now, the solutions you're proposing will definitely, not maybe, definitely make them much worse. It reminds me of what happened in Greece several years ago. Their then president rejected an austerity package from their lender countries to the ecstatic joy from his constituents. Within weeks, he had accepted a much worse, much more painful austerity package. But at least he could say that he fought back. Really? This is an inescapable fact. The most surefire way to give businesses more power over government is to give government more power over business. Just think about this for a second. What you are doing is giving government bureaucrats the power of life or death over private businesses. In a test of creativity and intelligence, who do you think is going to win that battle? In a system where being a government employee has become a road to riches, who do you think is going to manipulate whom? We've become addicted, more so every year, it seems, to the narrative, the story, the emotional pull of an event or issue. To run a government based on these things is a guaranteed path to failure. Why? Because in such a system, power flows to those who are best at manipulating the emotions of the masses. Power should flow. It should flow to those with the best ideas, the best products, to those who are the best at providing what their customers want. Now, do customers sometimes want dumb, unproductive, even occasionally destructive things? Yeah. But as the great Thomas Sowell often says, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. The only alternative to this type of freewheeling creative destruction is one version or another of the suffocating, top-down imposition of bureaucratic rule over what should be private decisions. Personally, I could never forgive the left. They're pursuing policies that they know are destructive. They're pursuing them with malicious intent in order to acquire power, despite the fact that they're knowingly hurting those they claim to want to help. Not that they would ask for it, but I can forgive those on the right for believing that the system is broken and must be rebroken in order to be fixed. And there's actually, I believe, some truth to that. But before you break something, please have a clear and coherent idea of exactly what it is that you want to replace the thing that you broke. And if that idea is not backed up by logic, reason, and statistical evidence, please discard it in favor of something that is. Yeah, it's been a tough time to be a free market libertarian, but I'm still optimistic. There is still the fact that these policies provide the healthiest, happiest, and most prosperous lives for those at all levels of society, rich, poor, everybody in between. You do see this realization occurring here and there throughout the world. But it would be nice, just for a change, if it didn't have to occur after an extraordinary amount of pain and suffering.